what's the best exercise for weight loss? Like what is the best form of exercise so that we can lose weight? And there is no straight easy answer because everybody is different and different things work for different people. So what I'll do today is probably tell you what are the most common ways of exercise when we approach weight loss, and then perhaps we'll be at a better place to make a decision. So let's start with the easiest one, that's walking. It's cheap, you don't need a membership or anything, you don't need equipment, and in fact even if you don't have walking shoes, it's fine. You can do it anywhere around your building, in the park, or even in the mall, and you can do it at any time, and it doesn't take too much. The only issue that could there be with walking is that people tend to overdo it. So instead of sticking to like an average, let's say normal 20 to 30 minutes, which is fine for most people, people take it 1 hour and 2 hours in an effort to lose weight fast. We may end up doing too much too soon, so that can backfire, especially if you have any issue like flat feet or any joint or tendon or bone related issue. It can backfire. Apart from that, it is one of the most popular, inexpensive ways to lose weight, and you can do it at your own pace, especially if you find a buddy to help you do it with, or you can just put on some music, or you can listen to something and you can just walk. So that's one. Number two would be to take a membership in a gym. That is, again, most gym memberships are not that expensive. Like, you can have a basic gym membership pretty cheap these days, and most gyms also you can find a gym that is close to you. And speaking from the perspective of women, because I generally only work with women and children, most gyms now have either a specific timing for women, or they do have two separate areas for men and women. So it's pretty let's say available to almost everybody. And you have the best advantages, you have a lot of machines to work with. You have treadmills, you have cross trainers, you have stationary bikes. A lot of them have pools, so you have access to a pool as well. So you have so many different types of machines. That's what I love about gyms. Like, you can do so much, and you have free classes. So that's like so many options that you can't get bored. And also there's a big possibility that you'll find somebody who shares the same goals, and you can make friends, meet like-minded people. So that's like really good. The drawback of gyms is that, one, it does need a financial commitment, and I hope you've read it, but in case you haven't, it shows that gym memberships are one of the most unused memberships in the world. Like most corporate gyms, they take on memberships like many times over than their capacity, knowing that people pay for memberships they don't use. Like, most people hit the gym generally New Year resolution time, and it's like crowded, packed, everything, and then people stop it because it's hard to keep the commitment. And most of us have a tendency to, again, overdo things. And also with too many options, people get overwhelmed. They end up doing, again, too much, and the bodies can't take it. People get tired, they don't give themselves ample time for recovery, and so that are the negative aspects of gyms. And it can get very crowded. You have to make sure your hygiene is fine. But if you can keep these things in mind, and if you are somewhat social, then I think a gym is a great place. And if you have a history of consistency, like if you're someone who is good with consistency, is good with routine, so you can do your 3-4 days a week, 20 minutes, half an hour, and you don't have a, let's say, attitude of going overboard with one thing. Like, you have good balance, then I think gyms are great for you. People who have discipline, people who have a schedule, people who are good with routines, and this is like great. Now let's come to just classes. Now there are two types of classes that I'm talking about here. One is fast paced, like aerobics, Les Mills, Zumba and stuff, any kind of other HIIT workout. And the other type is a slow mind and body based workout, like let's say yoga and Pilates. So first we'll look at HIIT, aerobics, Zumba, Les Mills. Now these type of workouts, they are great again for people who are very social, who like pace, who like music, and this is great. So you have a certain time the classes are at, and you go, you take the class, and you're done with your workout. You don't have to think, you don't have to plan, you just reach there, do it, and you're done. So this is great for those people who don't want to think, who don't want to, they just go to the workout, get it done and get it over with. This is great for women who are working, who have very limited time and yet have a car and accessibility to the studio. And most classes, again, they're not that expensive. You can, and nowadays most gyms or studios allow you to pay per class. So it's pretty feasible. You don't have to pay for, like, unlike earlier, you don't have to pay for, let's say, a block of 10, 15, 20 classes or whatever. You can just go pay for your class and do it and you're done. And you don't have to think about it. You will meet a lot of people who love that kind of music, who like it, and you can find a great social support system. The issues with group classes, especially fast-paced group classes, are that, one, it's very hard for even a very, very good trainer to pay attention to the people, to everybody. So you have to be careful as to not overdo things, pay attention to your form, go slow, take it easy, and see how you. There is a certain risk of injury, which is more because, again, you are in an environment where there is euphoria, there is music, so the chances of people overdoing it does go up. And of course you are limited by the fact that the classes are at a certain time, so you have to go there and be there at a certain time. And if you have any kind of social anxiety or you are very conscious about your body, then you may not like it. Apart from that, classes are a great idea. You go in, get your workout done, and it's like, especially you don't have to think. So there you go. Another type of classes are Pilates and yoga. Now they are for people, those classes generally, as far as I am concerned, I feel everybody should give them a shot because they inculcate your body and mind and everything together. You're forced to slow down, you're forced to focus on your breathing. In Pilates, it's more core based, so it might be a bit difficult to get a hang of it. And also in Pilates, it might be a great idea to start on mat Pilates and not on the reformer, because the reformer tends to be a bit tricky to get a hang of, at the beginning. And otherwise, it's a great idea for people, because I feel whether you are overweight, obese, or a complete beginner, anything that forces you to slow down and pay attention to your body in the long term is just fantastic. Okay, then we come to yoga. Now I have been doing yoga for a very long time, and let me tell you, as far as I am concerned, I prefer it to almost everything, because unlike Pilates, which focuses more on the core, yoga has asanas for all parts of the body. You can isolate your upper body, you can isolate your lower body, you can just do back, you can just do arms, you can stretch, you focus on your breathing in pranayama. So I feel it is one of the most all-encompassing ways of working out. And the only thing is in yoga is that it's slow, so it's sometimes difficult to get a hang of, especially if you're not used to it. Also, I feel there are a lot of myths surrounding yoga, that you have to be very flexible and you have to already know yoga and the classes are boring, and none of that is true. It's like, I've had people in my classes who are absolute beginners and people who are somewhere at intermediate level, and people who have been doing yoga for a long time. And every class and every move can be adjusted to suit the needs of your client. So you don't have to be great at it to start. It forces you to look at your breathing, pay attention to your body. So it's like overall a great way to move forward. Another thing that may discourage people from yoga is that, you know, it's you need to find a class or a teacher that works for you, because I feel Bikram yoga and even power yoga, they are a bit difficult and hard to do in the beginning. Not that they don't have benefits, in fact they are great, but in the beginning it might be difficult. So for beginners, it's best that you start with very gentle, relaxed, focusing more on slowing down, paying attention to your breathing sort of yoga, instead of directly moving on to difficult postures or asanas. Okay, now we come to another very, very popular way to exercise, that is CrossFit. Now when you look at CrossFit athletes, they look like they are a different species. I mean, I could watch CrossFit day in and day out. That's how much I like watching the athletes. It's like they look great. I mean, they're just fantastic. And it's like watching art. That's how finessed they are. That's how good they are at what they do. Having said that, I respect and admire CrossFit athletes. I respect and admire people who have been doing CrossFit, and a lot of people have attained a lot of success at it, with it. But I feel that CrossFit is something that needs to be approached a bit cautiously, especially by people who are deconditioned, who are overweight and who are obese. And the reason being that CrossFit moves are to be practiced before you can do them without thinking. And the chances of injuries are very high. I know people who have had CrossFit injuries, all because, again, too much too soon. So CrossFit moves are like the squat and press, the snatch. Those moves ideally should be practiced with a bamboo stick under the supervision of a good coach. And even when you join a CrossFit class, it is important that you pay attention to your form, to your movement, before you can start doing it with a weighted bar or with weights on. And I would suggest that even before going to a group class, it's a great idea to take a few personal training sessions with a certified CrossFit coach, and take your time before you start on the weighted stuff. Take the lightweight bamboo stick, practice your movements, because these lifts you need to have your mind and body put together. You have to focus on the move. You have to engage the right muscles to avoid injuries. And that is one of the biggest things about CrossFit, because if you're just starting out exercising, if you're just starting out working out and you want to lose weight and you're deconditioned, and you approach CrossFit without paying attention to some of these things, you can get injured so fast, and that is very demoralizing and depressing, especially as you're already struggling with weight. Start slow, take help from a coach, take some training sessions, and even if, let's say, you can't take training sessions, talk to the coach beforehand and let them allow you to do these with the lightweight bamboo stick on a slow basis. Even in the class, go slow with the movements. Learn from other people who have been there. Practice and pay attention. Don't get injured. Apart from that, I feel that if you give time to CrossFit, I think long term it is a fantastic way. Like, you will get very good results because it combines power, it combines strength, it combines aerobic. So you will really enhance your fitness, and you will lose weight. You will look great also. You get into a very good shape physically. But again, go slow, avoid injuries. Apart from now, after CrossFit, we have a lot of people choose to do swimming. Swimming is another form of cardio. It's especially good for people who are obese or overweight, who have any kind of joint injuries and they can't put weight on their lower body. So swimming helps a lot, and it's a great way to make sure you get your workout in. All you need is a membership. The only issues that may come up with swimming are, one, you have to make sure you join a hygienic pool, you have to pay for the membership, and apart from that, people again tend to overdo it, which can increase your hunger. You have to give yourself time to recover as well, because if you don't, swimming can get you really, really tired. Apart from that, it's great. Anything that gets you moving. And last but not the least, YouTube. YouTube is an unlimited source of workouts. Like the kind of variety you will get on YouTube with all sorts of workouts is just unimaginable. You search for it, you'll find it. You want to work out your upper body? Yes. Core? Yes. Legs? Yes. Back? Yes. Weighted, non-weighted, dance-based, yoga, Pilates, Zumba, HIIT, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 7. You look for it, it's available. The workouts are done by people who are certified personal trainers and fitness instructors, and also you have workouts designed and performed by people who are fitness enthusiasts and who have been doing this for a long time and who are good at it. So you have a huge amount of choice. You don't need so many workouts, you don't need any equipment. You need to put the mobile phone on, wear whatever you want to wear, and at home, and you just do the workout and you're done. And at any time you want to work out 12 o'clock in the night, you can. You want to work out before you leave for office at 4 o'clock in the morning, you can. So there is absolutely no reason for to discount YouTube. In fact, I know a lot of people that have lost weight, that have achieved good health with the help of YouTube workouts. It helps them get in shape, stay on track with their weight loss. So it's great. The only issue is, yes, again, not all exercises are for everybody, so you should be careful when you're starting a new workout. Go slow, pay attention to your body. Don't start with the person who's performing them. He or she might have been doing this workout for a long time and they might be conditioned to do it. I would suggest don't start with heavy weights and complicated movements right away. Go slow, take light weights or do body weight, do simple movements, and try a lot of different workouts and videos before you decide what works for you, and you won't get bored. So these are the most normal, ways we approach weight loss with the different forms of exercise. Now, what I feel, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, but I mean, it's up to you to decide, that since we all are different, our bodies and minds are different, one solution will not fit everybody. So what I would suggest is that try different things before deciding, and because it will take time for you to figure out what works. Try yoga for a few days, try going to some classes for a few days, try Pilates, try some YouTube workouts, try some weighted YouTube workouts, try going to the gym for a month or 2 or 3, and don't overdo it. Like, let's do 3-4 days a week. Give yourself ample time to recover, and when you are at the club or at the gym or doing it, pay attention before, after, pay attention to your appetite, pay attention to how you feel, and also whether especially if you want to try any kind of classes in a studio or a gym or swimming or CrossFit or anything that takes you away from your house, the drive factor, the accessibility factor, pay attention to that, because if something is difficult or some place is very difficult to reach, the chances are you won't go there. Also, if you have a very complicated, like, personal life, you have too many commitments and responsibilities, that may not be for you. So see and then decide whether you want to do this or you want to do that. But whatever you do, always remember to be safe, protect yourself, avoid injuries, especially in the beginning, because that is very demoralizing. I'm sorry. I have seen it with people, I've seen it with clients, and it takes a toll on you, especially if you're overweight, you're struggling to lose weight, and you're just taking baby steps in exercising and changing your diet, changing your mindset, changing your lifestyle. That is not a good time to get injured. So that is why don't overdo things. Take it slow, take it easy, take small steps, encourage yourself, and try different things. It's okay not to like yoga. It's okay if you don't like weights. It's okay if you don't like CrossFit. Maybe you like Zumba, and you can do Zumba and you can lose weight and you can feel great and be happy about it. Because when you find something that you like, the chances are you're going to stick to it no matter what, because you like it, because that's your decision. Instead of somebody else telling you, no, you should only do weights, or you should only do aerobics, or you should only do this. No. What you like, what you figure out is working for you, you will stick to it. You will make sure you do it while managing the stressors, while managing your life, and you will not give it up that easily. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.